social media to build up their skills. Some are paid versions. So, for instance, for the unemployed, for instance, and even the employed, you can still leverage LinkedIn, our own LinkedIn that we are on, LinkedIn Learning, LinkedIn Learning. They have a lot of free courses, or they have a lot of courses that you can um, learn or subscribe to build up your skills. You can also use Coursera, Udemy, Coursif. There are a lot of them. You can just go to Google and type whatever course you're looking for. There are so many of them. So instead of waiting or waiting for the employer's training, you as an individual can also build your own skills by learning on these sites. Even when the employer provides for, you as an individual can still add up to scale up. You don't need to necessarily wait for the employer. You can also, it's for your own good, your own personal development. You can learn through all these sites. And then secondly, you'd have to network. You know, we are in a global world. You have to network. You can build networks on LinkedIn. You can connect with people. You can follow people you admire, people who uphold your values, looking at their work. Do you want to um, aspire to be like them? You can follow them, or you should follow them, connect with them, share value, because you may not have experience, but at least you've read or you've been in school. You've seen what is happening in the world. I mean, globally. So you can share some insights, and through that, you tend to build connections with people. Apart from social media, you can also participate in workshops offline and online, where you network and then connect with people to build relationships. Because it's very important to build relationships in this day and age. It's very important. Um, LinkedIn, thankfully, is helping us, all of us, to connect. Even this streaming is not coming from Ghana. We are connecting globally. People from around the world are all connecting um, using the online platforms. So it's important to take advantage, to make use of it, so that you can stay up and step up, know more, learn more. And learning is continuous. It's a continuous process. You don't read a book and close it and put it down. You need to keep on learning because times are changing. Times are changing. Yeah.
the the point that you made, that platforms like LinkedIn allow for us to build relationships. And one thing that maybe so many people never realize sometimes is that, you know, the outcome of one's, whether it's a business venture or career, or it always depends on the solidity and the types and the kinds and the relationships that you build around, whether it's a relationship that you build around your business. Many times when you talk about how to run an enterprise, they always taught us that it's always good to have good relationship with suppliers, good relationships with the people that sell you particular raw materials. And sometimes, by virtue of those good relationships alone, you find that business A is able to create a certain level of competitive advantage compared to business B, right? And I like to see that in the same way as when you talk about someone building a career brand and building the personal brand online, that the relationships that you're able to connect with will either elevate your brand or will either cause for you to regress instead of elevating to your desired aspirations. So relationships are very important even when it comes to building a personal brand. And actually the strength of a brand itself, it's measured about the relationships that you've managed to create with your target audience, right? The strength of the brand, the reach of the brand, it's a matter of relationship. So success in so many ways is really tied to relationships, as Gifty has put it. And so platforms like LinkedIn allow for people to build those relationships. Maybe they start online, but they grow into becoming offline relationships as well. And you find that people are able to position themselves for opportunities and the like, just by virtue of the relationships that they've created.
Yes, definitely. I'm in agreement. Basically, we are highlighting that relationships is currency. Every brand is a brand that's relevant, that relates to people, and those people that it's for definitely need to be able to, remember it. They need to connect with it. They need to be able to find it because of the way it shows up and all of that. And relationships are things that must be built intentionally and continuously, and if they are genuine and all of that, then when the time comes for whatever it is that you need from the relationship, then it's already there. It shouldn't be something that happens out of all of a sudden and all of that. I mean, I can just say, for example, how I got to meet you. It's not like we just met now, it's been some time we have interacted, and we got to see that, we connect with each other, these are things that are important to us and all of that. That's just that, and it is something that is intentional. You start knowing that, okay, she stands for this, he stands for that. I like what she shows up and speaks about and all of that, which is quite an important thing. And it goes back to how we started pointing out that why it's important for you to know what triggers you, what makes you thrive, and all of that. Emphasizing the importance of you organizing yourself, your space, yourself as an individual, and your own space, number one, because as the title of our talk is about,
the spaces and systems
that we need for career growth, right? So now, going to the question that I wanted to ask, though, what are the we maybe we'll just take a break momentarily, and then for some water, and then we'll continue the conversation.
Innovative instigation. Feels like the best of times and yet the worst of times. We are seeing it everywhere. Tariff wars, the rise of AI, unemployment issues, underemployment, and even poverty. As the situation unfolds and new obstacles hit us daily, what do we feel? More fear, frustration, and stress. And then the questions hit. How can we possibly succeed in all this? Where are the real solutions? How do we even find the right path? Building your brands, building your online presence by leveraging social media platforms. It can all seem impossible, like too much to handle. But here's the truth. The situation isn't just challenging, it is demanding. It's demanding you and me to step up and claim our unique value, to set up a digital presence that actually works, to show up authentically and connect, to stack up strategies for real growth. and ultimately to stay up strong and impactful no matter what comes next. This is the blueprint for thriving. Are you ready to meet today's demands and conquer tomorrow? This transformative summit is completely free to attend. Don't miss out. Secure your spots for the Step Up, Set Up, Show Up, Stack Up and Stay Up Summit.
Innovative instigation.
Are we back? I think we should be back. Gifty is still around.
We're still busy with Gifty, and we're back. Yes. So yeah. So we're back, and we just wanted to talk about really now what are the systems that in your view are needed for actualizing career vision. Yes, what are the systems that leaders need to have to be able to actualize their career vision?
Hello, sorry.
Yeah, let me just repeat the question. What, in your opinion, what are the systems that are needed by career leaders to be able to actualize their career vision?
All right. So as leaders, in order to enhance your productivity or your focus on your daily work, you need to set up space such that you are able to do some deep work, focus on deep work. You need to plan your day, you need to schedule your day, in fact, your entire week, and then your month. So, as leaders, it takes, you need to reflect and then plan your schedule by looking at, let's say, this month or this quarter, what does the business need to achieve, or what do I need to achieve as a leader, as a team head? As a team head, what measures am I putting in place to achieve these goals? And how am I going to measure this delivery? So tools such as Notion, Trello, Google Calendar, and all that, they help us manage our time. You don't just go into work and then dive straight into your emails without talking to anybody. Just go straight and start working. It doesn't work like that. You need to plan your schedule and then pay attention or focus on your your productivity hours. For me, it's the first few hours of the morning, sometimes late into the night. Yeah. When the whole place is quiet, I focus. That is when I focus. I am in deep focus. So it depends on you as a leader or you as an individual. You need to check within yourself or assess yourself and know which hours you are able to concentrate and do deep work. You strategize. Let's say if it's the first 2 hours of the day, you apportion certain tasks to that time, and then you schedule up as the day goes. And then it's also very important to prioritize rest. It's very important to prioritize rest, yes, as a leader. You need to make time for short pauses in between. Otherwise, overwork can lead to burnout. I've had to learn that the hard way. Yeah, I've had that to learn that the hard way in the past. I I would even skip breakfast because I wanted to achieve something. I wanted to finish up with something like the meal be prepared on the desk, but sitting on the desk looking at me, I mean watching me, but I didn't have time to look at that. And I learned it through the hard way. It is important. You need to prioritize breaks and your rest periods. And then also you need to your rest periods. And then also you need to set boundaries. And setting boundaries doesn't mean that you are disrespectful as an employee. I'm moving to the employee side now as an employee and even as a leader. I mean, as a junior employee and then as a leader. You need to set boundaries and clearly say no when you can't do something. When you are not in a position to do something, you s- you spell it out clearly and respectfully. And then we as leaders also need to learn to manage such situations. We need to understand and respect these boundaries. Yeah, in a way that can make the person productive during the day. And then the weekends, previously, used to just shut down everything. I mean, it's fine to rest. Rest is very very important. I mean, you could, it's not luxury at all. Yeah, but before the week begins, it's important to also assess what went well. I mean, the whole activity during the week. What went well during the week? What didn't go well? You assess it and put in steps or plans to make it better. I mean, it's not about perfection, but it's always about trying to improve on how you did the week before. And then quarterly, you need to measure your goals. I mean, I've gone to the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. You need to measure your goals, not alone. I mean, collective, depending on what you are looking at. Measure your goals, also to improve upon what didn't do well and what you could do better. Yeah.
Innovative instigation.
Yeah. So, it was jam packed. It's already an indication that we actually do need to have more sessions like this so that we can, give it more time and delve deeper into other aspects more strategically. But even this is a lot. I mean, you've taken us through a lot. We have accomplished. In fact, I can say 98% of what we wanted. I think you have to have one more thing about,
No, we've gone through a lot, yeah, almost everything. I think on my side, maybe my final comments, maybe it's just to appreciate the session that we've had with Gifty. I think I had a lot of notes in my piece of paper here, just writing some of the points that she was sharing on, and in the last part of her sharing, she mentioned something about creating the right spaces for your productivity. and how that it's important, whether you're a leader or an employee, you need to know your productivity space and you need to protect it. I think when she was talking about boundaries, that you need to, the reason why you create boundaries is because you want to protect your productivity. Because I know this very well. So you find that sometimes when you have, normally we you just fix a quick to-do list, Gifty. It's okay, today I want to achieve ABCD, I want to get this done. But just the moment you open, you mentioned emails, the moment you open your laptop, you realize there are 50 people who are requiring your attention, right? There are 50 people who are requiring your time and your energy. So if you do not actually create the boundaries around what you have prioritized, I think an interesting thing that Gifty mentioned is that it's also good to have plans, not just to plan your day, but plan your week, plan your month, so you know exactly what are the objectives of the week, of the month, and you're always tracing back to this. You mentioned about reflection, always tracing back to say, okay, this was my plan for the month, I need to prioritize this. And by creating priorities, that's how you actually create boundaries. Okay, I can help you with this only in the next 2 weeks maybe. So it's quite interesting to hear that from you, Gifty. And the last one from my side, it's always funny how people will not drive their cars for the whole week. Nobody's going to drive their car the whole week, 7 days on the road, right? But we do that to our bodies. We don't want to rest. We sleep 2 hours, we sleep 3 hours, but you wouldn't want to drive your car for a whole 7 days without stopping. So the whole conversation about rest is very important. It's one that we almost too often neglect. So it's a good reminder that I also took from this the last sharing that Gifty made.
Yeah. To add on to that was how, especially the systems, the way she unpacked them, they are so important even in terms of helping to support and build that resilience and facilitate that adaptability. If you practice or apply, the things that she highlighted, or incorporate these systems that she mentioned, things like, time management, goal setting that is broken down into weeks, months, quarterly, and then also knowing that you don't work alone. So that reflection and involving other people, and you assess how your progress in terms of achieving them, not just alone. I mean, the reflection shouldn't just be done alone. It should also be done with others, because you interact with others and they are part of that, journey and process. And definitely the prioritization of rest is important, especially now also with how there's a high demand that, let's be on social media, let's be at work as well, all of that. You can experience burnout, and it is a very serious, high priority to schedule, not even fun. You have to actually schedule the rest time as well, just like it's other goals. It actually must be included in there. Yes, but otherwise, it's been wonderful and great having you, Gifty. And I believe that this is not the last, it's just the beginning. And thank you so much for taking us through on this wonderful...
I'd like to add something, but just 2 minutes.
Innovative instigation.
Yes, you may ask the question.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I was saying that I would like to add something, just about 2 minutes, and then we'll be done.
You go ahead.
All right, so I'd like to remind us employers to pay attention to the selection criteria. When someone is applying for a job, what we put out there, should pay attention to that. The employee experience starts even from there, before they get in. Candidates research companies, they go online, check, okay, want to know what values they stand for, what they do, and all that. So, and in this day and age, every information is online. Your website is online. They just go there. Apart from your own website, even if you don't have a website. There are other sites that past employees put up reviews. So all these, yes, all these, some of them discourage potential candidates. Some also encourage them to apply. So as employers, we need to pay attention to that. And then when they even before they get in the selection or interview process, how they are treated is also important. It's a signal to them as to what culture the organization has. Let's say they you give them a time of the interview time of 9 a.m. You must stick to the time, unless of course there's something that came up that you can control. I mean, maybe technology wise, you can't control. You need to value their time, value them even before they set in. The employees are becoming extremely sophisticated this time, just like customers, external customers. So we need to pay attention to that. And then also when they get in the onboarding process, that is also very important. Do you have a system in place? If there isn't, you need to put something in place, because that is where the the culture of the mission, the values, the vision, and all that is imbibed in the employee. He or she is taken through that process, and then he understands or she understands what you stand for and where they are going. Because from day one, if they are not connected to the mission and vision of the company, they will find or they may find themselves lost along the way. And when they get in, the experiences that they go through, how they are seen, how they are treated, how are they valued, the space that is created for them to thrive. Do they just come in to clocking, or they come in um, fully ready to work and contribute to the growth of the organization? Yes, we need to pay attention to that. So that experience, the internal experience, is usually felt by the external customer, the external employee, which is the external customer. Yes, because it shows in their output. It even shows in the reviews that are on other sites aside your website. So that is very important. I remember that I applied to a company some time ago. Went to I checked them up on Glassdoor, and I'm telling you, the reviews were bad, and these were from people that had bad interview experiences, and it's all there, probably unknown to the employer. So these things are signals already that are, they are not elevating your brand on the outside. So we need to pay attention to that. And then, like I said in the beginning, the beginning, the employee also has a role to play in that. You don't go out and then badmouth your employer, when probably what's happened internally it came from your side. But because you want to have a good image publicly, you may go out there and wanting to say negative things about them, whereas it may not be true. And social media or the internet is there for a long time, at least forever or for a long time, as we're saying for now. The information is there, and that information could affect you as the employee or the employer in future. So these are things that we need to pay attention to. Yeah. Thank you.
Total agreement about that. That's why I said this is not even the end, it's just the beginning. because the part you're touching about is about the aspect of building the employer brand. And so the employer brand, because we're looking at it in terms of personal brands, but from the employer brand, it's so important to factor so many things. In the same way that you would look at a personal brand, because you have to be intentional in how you cultivate it, how you show up, or through your content, how you show up in terms of just the whole recruitment process, the onboarding process, as you have described as well. And it's important because there's no organization that can just thrive with just the founders. It needs people. And you need to have that attractive employer brand that is going to bring the right talent and people who actually want to stay and grow with you, and know that their contribution is valued, and that the mission of the employer brand is attractive enough. It actually and allows for such talent to come in and actually work with it. So that's a very important topic, and thank you very much for tying it up and putting the good balance about from the employer side, and then the employer brand, and then the employee side as personal brand as well. It's quite a good balance, and indeed this is not the end. We are going to delve deeper. We just wanted people to get the holistic perspective, and it's so good. You're so right in also emphasizing the part about how with social media again, people can now say whatever they want as well on both sides. It gives platform to express opinions and views like that. So you want to be intentional in curating those experiences that will allow people to actually want to be excited about your brand, whether it's an employer brand or a personal brand. The principle applies the same way across board. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Gifty. I think a lot has been said.
Thank you.
And a lot has been learned as well. I'm a student in this session, so I take a lot of notes for my own personal learning, and I've learned a lot today, and I believe that the audience as well has learned a lot. I'm not sure if there were any questions from the audience side. Let me just check if there are any questions, so that you can maybe answer one of those questions.
Innovative instigation.
Okay, I'm not seeing any questions on the comments. Thank you so much from my side, Gifty, and thank you for such an informative session. And as Innovative Instigation Enterprise, we hope to see you soon.
All right. What I just wanted to say is, for those who do have questions and they want that, be sure that you are registered on that link that we provided. So, because those who are registered will have access to a resource that will enable them to get, further support from Gifty and all the other speakers as well. But it's going to be availed via, those who registered, because the information that is collected on there. And there are also special bonuses that are just exclusive to those who registered as well.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, Gifty. See you soon.
Innovative instigation.